Yay. Hi, everyone. I'm Rebecca calling in from San Francisco in the Mission District. This cocktail is kind of fun. Usually in my workspace, like right in front of me, there's tons of like tools and we're going to cut and chop. But what's fun about this cocktail is we don't have to cut and chop anything. We're just going to put some things into a saucepan and make it taste incredible, which is kind of fun. And I don't get to just do this version of a cocktail very often. I love hot chocolate. I love hot chocolate. Anybody else have hot chocolate? Well, it's always been one of my comfort things. Having a bad day, I want a cup of hot cocoa. And so I sort of reimagined the hot chocolate to be made with fresh ingredients, but also just like still very comforting and sort of warm. And this recipe, you can make it as sweet or unsweet as you prefer. So I write the recipes out and I add them into the chat. And if you're having the alcohol-free version, that says alcohol, because I didn't get the A in the copy, but that's fine. If you're making this cocktail without alcohol, I just added that in the chat. And if you're making the cocktail with me with alcohol, I'm going to add that in the chat as well. Let me just verbal what we're going to do. So if you want to look at the chat, you're welcome to. If you want to just listen to me, that's cool. But we're going to just talk about it first, and then we're going to make it happen. So we're going to use water and milk. We're going to start by warming water and milk in a saucepan. There's my housemate, Kyla. Very exciting. I work
Welcome, Kyla. Thanks for joining us.
And actually, Kyla might like hot chocolate more than me. Yeah, it's entirely possible. So first we're gonna warm milk and water in a saucepan. And as that's warming up, we're going to add 6 marshmallows. And what the marshmallows are going to do, it's going to thicken everything and get it like a much more thicker, richer mouthfeel. And it's also going to add the sugar component. Now, everyone has different levels of sugar, the preference that they like. So we're going to stop with the 6 marshmallows. And then you could add sugar to taste at the end. And you could add it per cup or what have you, because everyone has different preferences. So we're going to warm milk and water in a saucepan. We're going to add 6 marshmallows and stir them to dissolve. We're also going to add some cayenne pepper. Now, if you're a fan of spicy things, like even just a kiss of spice, cayenne pepper might be perfect for you in this cocktail. When I go out to eat, I usually order like medium spicy to spicy food at a Mexican restaurant or a Thai restaurant. I will take spicy, and that's my preference. And so therefore, when I wrote this recipe, I added a 1/4 teaspoon of, 2 dashes of cayenne, and that's perfect for my palate. Everyone's different. So either do less if you don't like anything spicy or none at all. So that's an option. And then we're gonna add some cinnamon to the tune of a 1/4 teaspoon. Now this is meant to be subtle. I really enjoy Mexican hot chocolate, and they put cinnamon in theirs oftentimes in Mexico. And so a little bit of cinnamon is gonna just add another layer of note, of flavor. You could omit this if you'd like. We're also gonna add 2 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder. So we're gonna add all those things, stir the marshmallows to dissolve them and incorporate the ingredients. After we've warmed it up and those marshmallows have dissolved, then we're gonna add our alcohol. The reason why you add the alcohol last is because alcohol burns off. Water boils at 200 degrees, 212? Yes. And alcohol boils at 175. And so we don't want our alcohol to burn off. So cook the milk and the marshmallows and the spices. Once the marshmallows have dissolved, add in your alcohol, let it warm up, turn off the stove, and enjoy yourself a hot cup of cocoa. Now, the alcohol, let's talk about, there's 2 things in the notes. A 1/4 cup of bourbon, rum, or reposado tequila. This cocktail is amazing with tequila. And there's an option of doing a 1/4 cup of another thing like Becherovka, which is this really cool Czech Republic spirit that tastes like Christmas cookies. You could use some Fernet if you're a fan of Fernet and you like the bitter Amaros. You could use Cynar, Montenegro if you wanted to, if you have those things. If I was making this in a bar, that's how I would do it. But I know not everyone has those ingredients, nor do they like them. So you can either do what's called a split base, where you use a 1/4 cup, which is 2 ounces, 1/4 cup of rum, tequila, or bourbon, and a 1/4 cup of that other spirit, Becherovka, Fernet, etc., or just a 1/2 cup of your bourbon. And so that's sort of that note there. Now, someone said they forgot marshmallows. Anything I can do? Yeah, you can totally just use sugar. Just add a tablespoon of sugar at a time until it's sweet enough for you. So the marshmallows just create this really cool, creamy mouthfeel, and that's what you're mostly going to miss. So just add a tablespoon of sugar at a time. And then you can garnish with marshmallows, garnish with a pinch of salt. Ooh, a pinch of salt on chocolate. Tell me about it. All right, that's what we're gonna do. So let me rotate you into my stove area, and then we're gonna get going. Woo. Now the expiration date for your hot cocoa, you can store the hot cocoa in hot it's so bright here right now. That's weird. You can stir the hot chocolate in after you've made this. Oh, this recipe is enough to serve 2 people. You could store this hot chocolate in the refrigerator and just use it by the time of the expiration date of your milk. So it'll last until your milk expires, and then just don't drink it after that. And this recipe is enough to drink 2 people, to give 2 people drinks. You can drink the whole thing yourself. Just know you're drinking 2 cocktails worth. No shame. I just want to make sure you know. Usually a common cocktail is made with 2 ounces of alcohol, which is the same as a 1/4 cup. And this is going to have a 1/2 cup of alcohol. All right, let's do it. Turn your stove on to a medium heat. Medium heat, and now I'm going to measure out a 1/2 cup of water and 1 cup of milk. And you're just going to pour that right into the medium. And you want to keep this on medium to medium low, because I don't know if you've ever burnt milk before, but it's really unpleasant. So keep it on medium to medium low. It will take longer for your marshmallows to melt, but it'll keep your milk from boiling. So a 1/2 cup of water and a cup of milk. For this recipe, you can make this vegan by using, or dairy-free by using any of your favorite milks, whatever your preference is. Any milk is great with this recipe. And then now I've added a 1/2 cup of water, I've added a cup of milk, and now I'm going to open up my marshmallow bag, and I'm going to add 6 marshmallows. If you don't have the marshmallows, you'll just add the sugar at the end. So just make the whole recipe, and then just add a tablespoon at a time and keep testing it out to see the sweetness. So 6 marshmallows in your milk and water, and it's 6 of the jumbo marshmallows. 6. Perfect.
Marshmallow to regular marshmallow conversion.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe 4. It looks like there might be 4 smalls to 1 big. That's my guess. Go with 4. 4 times 4, 16 small marshmallows. Oh wait, 4 times 6, 20 small marshmallows.
Just a little bit.
So I have my milk and my water. It's just starting to get warm. While I'm waiting for it to warm, I'm going to add my spices. So I have my cinnamon. I'm going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon. I don't have a quarter teaspoon measurement on mine, but I have a 1/2 teaspoon. So I'm going to just grab a 1/2 teaspoon, a 1/2 of the quarter, sorry, a 1/2 of the 1/2, which will be a 1/4, and I'm going to just put that right into my mix. And then I'm going to add 2 dashes of cayenne pepper. The cayenne pepper, again, I like spicy food. This isn't going to be a super spicy cocktail, but it's definitely going to be spicy. It also, you know, when you eat like a hot pepper, they recommend drinking milk. I sneeze every time I open up this jar. Because there's milk in the cocktail too, it's going to just make it from not being too spicy. So 2 dashes of cayenne pepper. I just turned it upside down. I just turned mine upside down 2 times, and that's going to be pretty spicy, but not too spicy. Every time. Oh, bless me. Maybe I'm allergic. No, just sensitive. And then now the last thing I'm going to add while my milk is warming up is my unsweetened cocoa powder to the tune of 2 tablespoons. 2 tablespoons. If it's kind of chunky, it's annoying. Like mine the other day, I opened it up and it was like in big chunks. So try to just break it down as much as you can so it's a powder and there's not like chunks of it, because it's hard to dissolve when it's chunky. So 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder. And then that's the last ingredient. Now you're going to just stir to incorporate the ingredients and to melt the marshmallows. So again, the last few things, we did a 1/4 teaspoon of cinnamon, just to give it a kiss of cinnamon, 2 dashes of cayenne pepper if you like spicy, and 2 tablespoons of unsweetened cocoa powder. I can see some steam coming off, so now I'm going to give this a stir to make sure I don't burn my milk and so that my marshmallows will dissolve. At this point, you have to stir it pretty consistently just so nothing gets burned or the milk doesn't get stuck to the bottom of the pan. It can get kind of gross. So just stir to dissolve the marshmallows and to incorporate the ingredients. This takes approximately 2 minutes, I'd say, for the marshmallows to dissolve. Just depends on your stove, but just keep it on medium temperature so, again, nothing gets burnt. Woo! And then my marshmallows are nearly finished. So I'm going to turn the heat down to low while I grab my alcohol, because I left my alcohol over there and I don't want this to burn and I can't keep stirring it. So now that my marshmallows have dissolved, I've turned my temperature down to low. I'm grabbing my alcohol and I'm going to measure out 1 cup of alcohol and I'm going to pour it into the hot chocolate. Half cup of alcohol, or you can do the 1/4 cup alcohol, bourbon, or tequila rum, and a 1/4 cup of the Becherovka or Fernet if you're into that sort of thing. So half cup of alcohol total. Just let it get warm for just a moment. If you still see steam coming off, your alcohol is warming up. And then turn off the heat and pour it in a cup. I know everyone's stoves cook different, so take your time. Mine's ready. I'm gonna grab a cup for this. Ooh, this one. Now, which cup? Oh, the kitty cat. The kitty cat with a bow. That's perfect. And so now I'm gonna move this hot chocolate into my cup. I just pour it in the cup over the sink. And then I'm going to bring over, as I sit down and enjoy this with you, I'm going to bring some sugar with me and my tablespoon. And I'm just going to measure out some more sugar if I feel like it needs it. I'm also going to bring some salt, because I'm going to garnish with a little bit of salt on top. You could also garnish with some marshmallows if you'd like. Yeah. Turn my light back on. Woo! What a difference that light makes. Oh, it's so bright. There we go. And so everyone take your time, but just, it's really, oh, I saw the bless you, thank you. Just remember when you add the alcohol in, don't let it boil. Also don't let the milk boil, but just let the alcohol get warm it up in the milk and all those things. And then turn off the heat. So the alcohol just needs to get warmed up, but make sure you don't cook it too much, otherwise it'll evaporate.
Rebecca, it's a 1/4 cup of each alcohol, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
If you're doing it's called a split base. It'd be a 1/4 cup each. Yeah. Oh, that marshmallow texture. It's amazing. I'm gonna put an extra marshmallow on top of mine. I wish I had one of those like flambe guns, because I would love to just like flambe some marshmallows, like a little topping, like a creme brulee. That would be really fun. If anybody has one of those, I cannot encourage it enough to cook your marshmallows on the top. Oh, cocoa whip. Oh, I love that. Cool Whip. Great idea.
Forgot to pull some out.
If you're a person who likes to gift things, this is a great thing. You can make this in a larger portion and serve it in little mason jars, and then tell your friends or whomever to drink it by whatever date your milk's going to expire. And you can just gift this out, which is kind of fun. Now, after you've moved a hot chocolate into your cup, was that hot, Gina? Spicy?
The alcohol went, like
The vapor, the aromas, the vapors. Now, once you have your hot cocoa in your cup, you can add some marshmallows on top, and then you could just add a tablespoon of sugar at a time, just to get until it's like the right sweetness for you. Maybe even a half tablespoon at a time, so that way you don't make it too sweet. But we all have varying ideas of what we want sweet-wise for chocolate and other things. So yeah, half tablespoon at a time. Add it until it's the right for you, and then if you have some salt nearby, just do a little sprinkle of salt, like a crack of salt, or just 1 pinch. But salt and chocolate are perfect for each other. I garnished mine with 2 marshmallows and a little bit of salt. It's so weird that I'm teaching a class with such a clean and empty workspace. I love it. And we'll raise a glass and we'll say cheers. And if anybody has any questions or comments, I'd love to hear what you think about this
really
cocktail.
good.
Yay.